While we're laying here, I'd like to show you the master entry point to the emotional body. We're going to do a series of emotional releases, but the main one is right here in the stomach area. Now, reach on yourself and find your belly button, and then find where your rib structure comes together. And be real careful, don't press real hard here. There's something in anatomical language called a xiphoid process, and it's like a little teardrop hanging there. If you press too hard and break it, you destroy your vitamin D assimilation. So while you're poking around, be careful at that point. But if I establish these 2 points, halfway in between and probably a little bit higher in the same central line is the entry point to the entire emotional body. Now, if I find your belly button and I find your rib cage and I find the entry, and there it is. Now, as you see our model beginning to nod her head, there's you know you found it because it's usually a little sore. Most of us are used to protecting this area, just like we're used to protecting the area of a hiatal hernia. Now remember, hiatal hernia, that ball is very close to this point. Hiatal hernia comes from nerves where you're so uptight, you feel helpless to do something about a circumstance that you're in, and that ball of nerves comes up very close to this emotional center. I've heard it estimated that we could empty 50% of the people in insane asylums out just by what we're about to show you. You find this master access point, and you start, now of course you want to be in a circumstance where there's not a lot of people around, where you're not going to be busted in on, where in terms of the kids are going to come running through, or somebody's going to ring the doorbell, or even disconnect the phone. You want a nice, pleasant, and comfortable circumstance. If you're the person that this is going to be done on, you want somebody you feel good about working on you, not somebody you have a distrust of or you just don't feel they're capable. Frankly, a friend does better in this than any person who's a professional, although professionals can be friends, of course. But you find the point, and what you're going to do is press in on it. Now, you don't have to bore through the back and tickle the backbone. You're going to push in, and there's going to be some substantial pressure, but not boring pressure in which you literally think somebody's going to bore straight through. And you hold on. Now, you often feel a little pulse nearby because there's some nerves or some arteries running through there and some nerves in which they carry the pulse. But you're just going to hold on to this for about 20 minutes. Now the person, if they have an emotional issue that's ready to let go, and it starts to come up, they're going to get a little upset at you. And they're going to say, that's enough, all right, I've had it, yeah. And your job is to hold on. Now that may seem callous, may seem uncaring, but this is a loving thing you're doing for the person. Now, again, if you're boring through their back and stopping all breathing, maybe they have a right to be complaining. But on the other hand, you hold it, and if you keep with it, you'll feel 3 gurgles happen basically right around or underneath your fingers. On the 3rd gurgle is the full release. Now, the person may break into tears, the person may have a stoic response to it and say, well, that was good, boy, my stomach's sore. But usually there's a feeling like, whoa, something changed. And you just hold it there for about 20 minutes. Sometimes you need the second hand to sort of push in because the person is getting a little resistant to letting all this come out. This doesn't have to be a terrible, cathartic, killer exercise, but the reason you want the privacy, the reason that you want the right kind of circumstances is so the person can have one full release. So just hold on to this point until you feel that 3rd gurgle. Time frame again is right around 20 minutes. Don't be surprised if it happens in 15, or don't be surprised if it happens in 30. But this is a very, very valuable point to help the person emotionally release things. Are you still with us? Mm-hmm. You're not crying? Okay. So we have a good model here, and I'm not going to hold on for 20 minutes anyway.